Hollygrove Street Stories. Back at it with another one, with another legend,
Yeah,
icon.
yeah,
Streets know him, the hood know him. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? OG status,
yeah.
Darren, Tootie.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to mess up the last name.
Santee.
Santee.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You got it.
Darren Santee. I ain't want to mess that last name up.
Yes, sir.
Man, tell them where you from, bruh.
Hollygrove, baby. Born and raised.
Yeah.
Born
Where
and
we at
raised.
right now?
We in Hollygrove. We on, matter of fact, we on Hollygrove and Peach Street.
Oh, all right. We got any memories of right here?
We between Airline Highway and the interstate.
All right. East side.
That's what they call it.
That what they call it? Yeah,
Yeah.
but you was around before they started that.
Yeah, I was locked up when they started that east side thing.
Oh, all right. So how long you been living back here? Oh, I know you moved, but you know what I'm saying?
I've been back here, like I said, all my life. I probably moved out. Went to two other sections in the city. One is on Mid City over there on Borden Street.
All right.
The other one was around the graveyard on Burnett Street, but we wasn't going too long, probably no more than 3 years. And we were back in the hood.
What years that was about?
That was in the 80s.
80s?
Yeah, I would say like 85.
So what, you was a
86.
teenager? Or
No, I wasn't a
boy?
teenager yet. I was a young dude.
Oh,
I
all
was
right.
almost a teenager.
All right. So tell me what some of your earliest memories of the neighborhood.
Oh man, this crazy, bro. Because Hollygrove is like all my memories.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have a few memories of over there and over there, but Hollygrove have a majority of my memories. And as a young kid, I remember growing up, from this street, Hollygrove, on the other, down the street on Bell. Like I said, me and Nip was talking. You had to really, when you come out your door, you had to speak to at least 10 to 15 people to get to your destination.
Yeah.
So it taught you respect. It taught yourself. It taught you how to have respect for the next person and not be selfish when you're walking up the block.
Especially your elders.
Yeah, and that's what it was, my elders. Because it wasn't, my peers. It would be us walking up the street.
Right. You think they teaching the kids that these days?
No, not really, because now that I come back here, I don't really see too many people out.
Yeah,
But I understand what you're saying, the respect thing, it has to be taught because they don't know no better.
Right. Okay. So what was the lifestyle like in the neighborhood?
Early on when we were kids, man, it was cool. We would be in the neighborhood playing football. Sometimes we would be in the school, Julie P. Benjamin, around the corner, or we would be down there on the set by Hollygrove and Pell. We would get out in the street and play football, what have you.
Who would it be?
Uh-huh.
Who would it be on the football?
Oh, it would be a whole lot of all the neighborhood boys, man.
Who all you can remember?
Me, Nip, Stuart, Frank. Stuart was one of the fastest people in the neighborhood.
You were from there?
Yeah, Stuart was from Hollygrove. We stayed in the back there.
Oh, all right.
God bless the dead, Antoine Ruffin. He stayed down there on Hollygrove and Dixon. He was one of the fastest cats back here. Joe Bam, God bless the dead. Mark Coleman, he was a big football player.
All right.
Some of the older cats, Kirk Davenport, like Pip, Waldo Sears, Uncle Wiley, we call him Puddin'.
All right.
God bless the dead, Don Lewis. Oh man, we had some real athletes back then.
So who you was running with?
I was running with Nip, cat by the name of 223, Brian McNairus.
All right.
My big cousin Spiff, Dion Walker,
All right.
Stuart Frank. Cats in my age. I really was the youngest though. I was like a year younger than them, all them older.
Oh, all right. What y'all used to get into like?
Oh, we would get into early. We was getting into just dumb shit as kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
After playing football, when it get dark or whatever, we'd probably play some nigga knock or go up there to the interstate and pitch rocks at the cars and shit.
Yeah, I was doing that way back then.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I remember one time, God bless the dead, my partner Joe Bam, we was coming from, I think it had to be Club Adidas or something like that. And when we came across the interstate, we went to pitching rocks.
Yeah.
And Joe Bam, I never forget, Joe Bam just so happened to pitch a rock, and when he pitched the rock hit dead in somebody's car.
Damn. They stopped?
They stopped.
Oh, they stopped and got out. It got real fucked.
They stopped and came in the neighborhood because that was his mama car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That was Mama Linda, Miss Linda car. He not we.
He had his own mama shit.
He had his own mama car. So, when he hit the car, we broke out running. So she already know what time it is. They running in the neighborhood. I'm going behind them. So when she got in the neighborhood, she already knew. She came on Pear Street by my house. I had ran inside. She told my mom what happened. I called her ass whipping for that.
Yes.
So we used to get into all kind of stuff. And then time changed. We went to stealing cars. From stealing cars, to, hustling.
How old you talking about?
Oh, this was we were like 11, 12 years old.
Stealing cars at 11 and 12?
Yes. You gotta remember now. I told you.
What?
I was like a year or two younger.
Oh, they was older than you.
Yeah. Oh, Big Ben. Matter of fact, Big Ben. That's who taught us how to steal cars.
Big Ben?
Yes, Big Ben taught Mark and Spiff, and then Mark and Spiff, and then Joe Bam, and then they brought it to me.
So who all had an influence on you as a youngin'?
Oh, when I was young, God bless his soul, Pee-wee Elijah Jackson. I think he had the biggest influence on my life because as a kid, growing up, I say from my womb, my mom, his mom, and Nip mom, Miss Clarissa, Pee-wee mom, Mama Bessie, they were tight as thieves. With one with the other one. But when I came into the knowledge of, looking up to people and knowing people, then that's who I came into the fold with because my mom and his mom was already like this. Yeah. So he took me under his wing, showed me a whole lot of stuff. He taught me how to shoot pool, Mac women, all kind of things, you know what I'm saying?
Pee-wee.
Yeah.
He still alive?
No, he got killed in 1989.
Oh, what happened with that?
Him and his partner, him and Tacky.
Tacky?
Yeah. They Maurice Davis, matter of fact.
They got into something.
Allegedly, they were looking to score some drugs because it was a drought in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the cat that laid up there and knew them, they entrusted in this cat.
Yeah.
And long story short, he wound up luring them to the Magnolia Project because he got in a car with them. So he brought them to the Magnolia Project, allegedly, and that's where
he got killed in?
That's where they're supposed to have been that got killed in.
Supposed to be?
Yeah, because it's everything is, nothing was
their bodies didn't get found in the back.
No, their bodies didn't get found. That's why that's why it was supposed to be. But he took their bodies from there supposedly and brought their bodies right here on by John F. Kennedy School by the bayou on Wisner Boulevard and dumped both of their bodies in there.
Damn.
Yeah, so when that happened, I think we waited like 2 weeks. I think it was like 2 weeks before we heard anything about them coming back and floating back up on the water. Yeah, so 1989 was a real fucked up year for us.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a little passion. Did you lose any close friends growing up? That was one of the questions.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you lost more than this, them two?
Oh, before that, I lost my real childhood friend, Kenny Brook.
Kenny Brook?
Yes, he was born in January, I was born in June.
Same year?
Same year, 1974. Yeah, and matter of fact, right now we're sitting on Hollygrove Beach, one block back at Hollygrove and Marks. Him and a cat by the name of Obadiah had a fight. He got the best of Obadiah, who I guess O didn't like it or whatever. Went to his car, got it. I wasn't at the murder scene. I didn't see the shoot because I was around the corner on my block on Hollygrove and Pear.
Yeah.
But as soon as it happened, I could tell you this, God bless his soul. Tootie came running around there about it because we had a little set on Pear Street that was developing. But anyway, Tootie came running around there He said, man, Obadiah just shot Kenny Bro. Obadiah just shot Kenny Bro. So I'm sitting on the porch. This is my house, but this is before I got here. So we was on Chestnut. So when they laid up there, Happy Mother's Day, y'all. I love y'all. What, baby? Text me. I got something right now, but text me. All right. Yeah. I sell clothes, OG status. Yeah, they asking for it. But back to where we was at. Like this is my house where I got all the memories from 3941. Right. But around the corner on Hollygrove and Pt.1, that's where Tootie ran at. So when he did that, we all us just came from running up Pt. Street, ran to Hollygrove and ran to that block. And my childhood friend is laying right there. They got people trying to resuscitate him, what have you, but they don't know what they're doing. And now this I can recall. Someone over him, pressing on his chest, but as they pressing on his chest, he has a big old hole on his side.
It's pushing blood out.
They just push the blood out. He really just pushed the life out. So basically I think they were watching with, something they saw on TV, and they tried to reenact. You know what I'm saying? In actuality, that really fucked them.
And what year that was?
That was 89. As a matter of fact, that was September 89. Yep. And the situation with people attacking. Obadiah, he went to jail. He caught 21 years. He wound up doing 10 and a half years, 11 years coming home. Yeah. And he wound up dying himself in a car accident. So he flipped over in a car himself. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, because really and truly, who was my people, you know what I'm saying? Because I was running crack for him at the time. Yeah. He was a major crack pusher back then. I was running crack. I probably was making like $25 off every $100. It was like that. So I gave him 75, I give him my 25, and do it again. And the little 25 was stacking up.
When you got into the drug at?
This was 19. Hey, Mama, happy Mother's Day. This was 1980. I would say 80. Yeah. Yeah, 80. As a matter of fact, that's why I said this house is special to me, because we moved here in 88.
Oh, all right.
And that's when everything started. Like,
so what was? Were you just trying to come up, or what? Or you just was influenced by the other drug dealers?
I'm not gonna say it was an influence, but it was a turn on. Like I saw my cousins and his partners scrambling for another neighborhood drug dealer that was, he was the big time here. Yeah. But I saw them scrambling for him, and it just was something like, okay, you got money in their pocket. I like that.
It was dressing.
Yeah, they was dressing, jewelry, their little polos, yeah, they had nice little cars and shit like that, Rivieras, Jaguars.
I'm asking that because the materialistic shit is really was a turn on for most people.
Yeah, but for me, I really wasn't materialistic. Yeah, I wasn't materialistic. I just was like, I think it just was something to get off into at the time.
Oh, all right.
You know what I'm saying? And then from there, it went to me, experiment with drugs, and then from there, everything just spiraling out of control.
Yes, it is. So you said you knew a couple of OGs. Who were the OGs, when you was coming up? You know what I'm saying? That you the OG status now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So,
now,
who was OG status when you was?
When I was coming up, the OGs like God Bless the Dead, Gigi, Semi. You had God Bless the Dead, Brian Morrison, Boss. You had Bo. You had Snog, one of my cousins. You had Joe Parker.
All of them from around here?
Pee-wee, Tag, I'm naming everybody from around here off this side. You had Equalizer. Yeah, Shorty, his brother, his brother Eddie, his brother Pecky. You had a lot of players off this side, man.
All right.
This side, people might take this side sweet, but you had a lot of players off this side.
Oh yeah.
And I could sit down and we could run hours of tapes, and I could tell you a whole lot of stories about a lot of players off this side, and there was true bona fide players, you know.
Yeah. So how you balance the drug dealing from the drug abuse or the drug use? You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't balance it.
No?
That was the thing. Like when I got off into it, it was like they say recreation.
Yeah.
That was the thing for some people.
Did it start with weed?
Yeah, it started with weed, but it ain't the thing of me using weed and this wasn't good enough. I went to another drug. No, it just was an experimental thing. Weed is like I smoke weed now, but I don't use no other drug.
Yeah.
I'm 20 right now. I'm about to be 24 years clean of coke, crack, or heroin. I haven't used it in almost a quarter of a century, so it wasn't weed.
Yeah.
I just, we used the fucking weed, but then we experimented with what we was fucking around.
Yeah.
First, I started smoking the coke in the weed. They call it coke weeds.
Yeah.
And then when the crack came out, we set the crack. We got the crack right there. Fuck, I got all the big timers. They come fuck with me for doing jobs for them. So I got all the drugs I want.
Yeah.
So the experimental thing came in, and there you go. Breaking the fucking crack down, putting the shit in weed.
Yeah, but seeing how the crackheads look and shit, that shit didn't make it that water like fuck
Crack,
with it after seeing that.
Okay, let me explain something to you. What they call the crackheads,
Yeah,
what you see now,
right.
you didn't see that back then.
Oh, it was
Because the people that was using crack, they were freebasing first.
all right.
So after the freebasing, somebody learned that way to cook that shit up. I still think it's the chemists for the U.S. government. Well, that's another story.
Right.
But yeah, that's another story. But the thing about it is when they cooked the coke up and made it into crack, he was able to smash it back down, and it looked like a powder form, but it was a crystal-like substance, and there it is. It melts on you, whatever cigarette crack or pipe. I never smoked a pipe, but cigarettes and weed, I didn't experiment with, and it gets you in a trance to where you don't want to do nothing but just that.
Right.
So, when you see a person spiral, you might see him with all his gold medallions one day, and then you see him with nothing the next day.
Yeah.
Like Easy, the cookie crack, took all those things.
Yeah.
Because that's how powerful that drug was. You know what I'm saying? That shit, you might be up one day, and the next day you flat out.
Yeah, so you didn't really see him looking bad to probably the 90s.
Yeah, because back then it was working class people doing this.
Yeah.
Because coke is an expensive drug. You have to really have money to maintain a coke habit.
Yeah.
Because it's
Hollywood drug.
Thank you. You're going to constantly be running on it.
Right.
It's nonstop. So the people that were using it were people that were working. So at the end of the week, they would do a recreational thing, and then it just got out of control. Because you can't control a fucking coke or crack addiction. So don't let nobody fool you. Oh yeah, I can control this. You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
But then when you don't have nothing, you Jones, and then what's gonna happen? That's when the control is out of control.
Yeah. You used to sell heroin too?
Yes.
Now, we was talking about this the other day, but I'm not gonna use that footage because I don't really like how it came.
I already know. That's rule.
What's the difference from heroin in your time to fentanyl in this time?
Oh my God.
Heroin in your time. I mean, heroin is still around.
Now I'm gonna be real with you.
I